bless you for grace that has been showered upon us. We commit ourselves into your hands as we begin this conference, which marks the end of our conferences for the year. We are praying that your presence will be felt than never before. We pray that you will meet us beyond our expectation. Let every heart here be receptive to your voice. We pray that all will be conducted under your divine leadings, and everything will work together for our good. This and many other things we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you so much, Pastor. We are privileged to have in our midst some distinguished guests. Please, as I acknowledge them, let us appreciate their presence. Thank you. We have the host of this event, the chairman of First Machinery Group, a subsidiary of Tiast West Africa, Mr. William Opombio. Thank you. We have the co-CEO of Tiast West Africa, Mr. Frika Shao. We also have the head of development and origination and the acting head of agribusiness of Stanbic Bank Ghana, Mr. Benedict Obeng. We have the regional agric director of Greater Accra Region, Mr. Eric Asemeni. Thank you. And we have the principal investment promotions officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Mr. Kwame Kesi Ejapon. Thank you all so much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you so much, Ms. Priscilla. So, Tiast Group, as we are here today, we are streaming live on Facebook as well. You can go online, you can invite anybody to join us online as well to join this wonderful occasion as we are here. And as she stated earlier, we have a host. At every event, we need somebody to chair it and to be the head of that event. And today, we are honored to have one of the top-notch Ghanaian entrepreneurs. He's a leading promoter of Isopanel Limited and an executive manager for Supercare Group of Companies. He's also the chairman for First Machinery Group, that is a subsidiary of Tiast Group. He owns biggest cassava processing factory in Ghana, as well as an alcohol processing factory. Ladies and gentlemen, our host, Mr. William Opombio.
Good morning, distinguished guests. Thanks for honoring the invitation for the 7th conference of Tiast Group. We started these conferences, and it's getting to the year, so it's going to be the last one. As a host, we have lined up speakers who are going to make presentation to you. And the prayer is that by the time you leave here, you will buy into the vision of changing Ghana and bringing money into your pocket. I am an example of being an agriculturist or agricultural practice. We started many years ago, and we have made progress. We haven't reached the goal. But I was very much encouraged when a Brazilian from ITTA in Ibadan visited us. And also visited the alcohol plant in Ho. When he was leaving or flying out of Ghana, he made a confession that Nigeria always says that they are into cassava, but he has changed his mind. When he came to our farm, he decided to sample. We took my people, I think they are here. They took them around, they took him around, and he sampled the farm. He chose. And then he himself will go and approach it. Then he came to his decision that our yield is far better than what the Institute think that it should be the yield of an acre, a hectare, sorry. So I think that we are on the right path. We have to learn from each other. That is, if you come, we can learn from each other. And I think that giving ourselves some time, we should be able to make the mark. Bring in more foreign exchange, more money into our pocket, more employment for the youth. And I'm not even going to say that we have to co-opt the youth also into the agriculture side, cultivations of cassava. Quite recently, Ghana Ezim had a program. I think maybe some of you are here. And people call me and they said, oh, I think that it is a good business. Even if you cultivate, there are so many things you can use cassava for. Even Gali, if I did the calculations, and I realized that when it comes to export, America, there are a lot of Nigerians, there are a lot of Ghanaians, UK, Germany, there are a lot of markets. And unlike cassava starch, which is a commodity, which has price changing. Gary also, of course, price changing, but you can have your own control because it is also food. And the market is big. So we have so many products. We have alcohol, which everything is being imported. And we can satisfy the market. We have a lot of things we can use cassava for. So it is good you came. And I pray to God that you listen attentively, make your nose with a positive mind that you go back not as you came, but with a better, well-informed person. I think that I'll rest my case. We will be inviting you when we are commissioning our plants. I'll take your list and invite everybody. Right now, we are building 2 plants, almost completed. We will invite all of you when we are commissioned, and then come and have a feel of it so that I can inform you what you can do. You can even do bigger and better than me. I rest my case.
Thank you so much, our host, Mr. William Opombio, for that opening address. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of the Principal Investment Promotions Officer of Investor Services Division, Mr. Kwame Kisi Ejapon. Our next speaker is a representative from our loyal financial partner, Stanbic Bank. He has nearly 2 decades worth of experience in the banking industry. He is the head of business development and origination and the acting head of agribusiness in Stanbic Bank. Speaking on project financing, please let's welcome Mr. Benedict Kwesi Obin. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And it's always a pleasure to be the first speaker for such a conference. Thank you. So, representatives of the Gamanche Ni Taki Tekochu II and all chiefs present. Mr. Chairman, representatives of all ministries, government agencies, and departments, our great directors, our partners, the media, very distinguished guests, my colleagues from Stanbic Bank who are here, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. About a year ago, we at Stanbic Bank were approached by Tiast to partner them to spur growth for the agric industry, specifically for the players in the cassava production and processing value chain. We welcomed the collaboration because we saw this as a perfect example of a market-based approach to farming for a crop that is grown across the length and breadth of this country. Not forgetting that in 2010, Ghana was ranked the 6th world best producer of cassava in terms of value. For a bank as bold and innovative as we are, we could see what others did not see in Tiast. So we willingly held their hands along the way. For clearly, we believe that opportunities abound. So about a month ago, we were in Takrady for the 6th Agricultural and Industrialization Conference to introduce and bring to bear the opportunities within the agribusiness value chain for cassava production and processing as well. So today it's a great pleasure for us at Stanbic Bank to be here as part of this great initiative. Standard Bank, which Stanbic Bank belongs, which is the international bank that we serve, has been in Africa for over 150 years. We have been operating as a modern company in Africa for these 50 plus years. So we like to say that we understand Africa and believe that Africa is our home and therefore we drive her growth. In Ghana, Stanbic Bank aspires to be part of this fabric that drives the growth of the Ghanaian economy, and our colleagues across Africa are doing similar things. Agriculture employs almost 70% of Africa's people. And if with this figure, our people are still grappling with a high poverty index, it just means that agriculture is not doing what it ought to do. That is to say, to create wealth for our people. It is no wonder, therefore, that Stanbic takes an active part in the annual National Farmers' Day celebration, which this year will happen a few days from today in Cape Coast. Ahead of the day, we say our equal to our industrious farmers and fisher folks for keeping our industries running. COVID has brought another opportunity to turn that miserable tide around, in that agriculture must be a resilient sector of the economy and indeed generate the growth that we expect. Working with Tiast, we will ensure that we can have appropriate equipment and provide the required support for the maintenance of the equipment. At the same time, they have committed to help us build a global market for the final output of the cassava, whether it is starch or ethanol. We are therefore delighted with the coming on board of the Ghana Exports Promotion Authority, GEPA, to strengthen this partnership as well. For this shared purpose, we have signed a tripartite memorandum of understanding between us, Tiast, and GEPA to help support the sector and its value chain in the collective goal of promoting our exports. For us as Stanbic Bank, this partnership affords us another opportunity to drive Ghana's growth. Our partnership says Tiast will supply the Ghanaian farmer with various cassava equipment to enable them farm and process the farm produce. We will work with Tiast and GEPA and ensure that the markets are properly developed and that our farmers don't get saddled with low prices as cassava currently brings in, but rather prices in the region of what the cocoa crops and others commands. To be able to tap into the export market, Mr. Chairman, we would encourage cassava farmers to be consistent and predictable in quantities and qualities available. As we go into this old but new era, we do not expect to see individual farmers chasing small volumes. We should be able to organize a Ghana Cassava Exporters Group, which will look out for the interest of every cassava farmer. With such a body, it will be easier to approach the export market for your produce. The group can then sign a ton per acre contract, for example, in US dollars, and this they would work backwards to ensure that each individual farmer reaps the full benefit of international market prices. So for us as Stanbic and working with Tiast and GEPA, what our memorandum of understanding says that any prospective farmer or participant in the cassava value chain approaches Tiast based on their concept would make, and there are manuals available both at Tiast office and our offices to guide you to understand the process well. But just a brief talk about it. The prospective farmer or an existing farmer approaches Tiast, have those discussions with Tiast. Tiast understands the vision and the proposal of the farmer, and an MOU is signed between both parties in terms of what the needs are. The prospective borrower, i.e. the farmer or the entrepreneur, is now introduced to Stanbic Bank to also continue the conversation from where it ended with the Tiast positioning, to see the financing models, understand the farm size, the acreage, the yields, and all other things to influence what we normally call cash flows, because we are interested in how you would be able to pay us back. So it is of very much importance to us to understand how you be able to add value, make money within the partnership to be able to pay us back the money that we would use to support you. So as the negotiation progresses, the client, like I said, the client is introduced to the bank to commence or further the discussions. And this might not be limited only to joint visits to the farm and also reviewing other documents that we would require the client or the borrower to give to us. Once the facility is approved, after review and mitigating all identified risk, there are a few other partnership agreements to be executed between all parties. And the borrower will then clearly set out ongoing responsibilities for all parties to facilitate and support the partnership. There is a detailed process, as I mentioned earlier on, a detailed process flow that has been agreed between all parties that can be made available upon request for you to understand this very well. Last month when we met in Takoradi, I did say that we were likely to finalize our first deal under the initiative for a $5.8 million cassava starch processing farm in the Western region, and by the end of October. Unfortunately, I am not happy saying that we are yet to conclude. So our expectation is that we should be able to conclude by the end of this month. We've advanced very far in the process, and I believe when we should meet again next year, we will share that success story with you, that Stanbic Bank has supported a $5.8 million a cassava and starch processing factory in the Western region, for which we would learn from and impact other borrowers or other entrepreneurs that will come along the way. While each transaction will be different, we have taken lessons from this particular transaction to make subsequent transactions very seamless and faster. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman, we are truly delighted to be part of this initiative, and we want to use it as an example to demonstrate our belief that for agriculture to benefit Africans, it has to be a market-to-farm approach. We have to organize our markets and be consistent in our quantity and quality, and then we can extract the maximum price possible from that particular product. On this note, once again, Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, panelists, we thank you for giving us the opportunity to be part of what we believe in the next 10 years will get us to the $1 billion in exports. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Benedict from Stanbic Bank. We are glad that you are also partners of this great project. Also next to speak with us, he's representing the Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Export Promotion Authority. He's a graduate of the Institution of International and Development Studies. He has worked and gained experience in international trade and development industry, skilled with strategic planning, exports, and international trade. And also he's currently the Director of Projects at Ghana Export Promotion Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Alexander Dazawa.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are glad to be here. Nime, Nananom, Mr. Chairman, the CEO and colleagues from Tiast, cherished investors, invited guests, media representatives, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to be here with you this morning, representing our Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Efua Asabia Asari, who actually would have loved to be here with us, but is unable to participate because she's currently leading Ghana's participation in the Intra-African Trade Fair, which is taking place in Durban, South Africa. And for that reason, I'm here to represent her. So it's a privilege. I'm here with my colleagues, also from GEPA. And during our colleague from Stanbic's presentation, he made a number of interventions regarding GEPA's partnership with the Stanbic Bank and Tiast in this very laudable initiative, which we welcome and we are glad to be part of. Ghana Export Promotion Authority, as you may already know, is a government agency responsible for the promotion and development of exports from Ghana. And so we envision that this Tiast-led Cassava development project, which is currently ongoing, is a very viable one with the potential to improve our earnings from the non-traditional export sector and also serve as a major foreign exchange earner and employment creation for Ghana. More importantly, the project actually falls within our major pillars of the non-traditional national export development strategy, which outlines strategic initiatives that must be implemented to strengthen and increase the supply base of key products for exports. GEPA believes strongly that this laudable project, for it to be successful, there will be the need for a massive and deliberate intervention at the production and supply side. Supply constraints have always been one of our major factors affecting the export sector over the years, and it's about time we work hard to overcome it. Cassava being one of our top priority products. It is also refreshing to bring to your attention, ladies and gentlemen, that industrial starch has been earmarked as one of the priority products under the export development strategy that I just mentioned due to its vast potential and export potential mainly in the Chinese market. And that is why the presence of Tiast and the guarantees that they provide for market access for cassava, no matter the quantities that are produced, is very refreshing. With this in mind, and as alluded to by my colleague from Stanbic Bank, GEPA has signed an MOU, a tripartite MOU with Tiast and Stanbic Bank to strengthen the cassava value chain. But in specific terms, GEPA, as one of the partners of the project, is willing to provide support in the area of supply-based expansion and market access for the value-added cassava products that will be obtained from this project. So subsequent to that, we will be working with Nananom, Nime, and any other authority, including also the MMDCs, to ensure that the right volumes of the right type of cassava is produced all year round to feed the processing plants that will be set up. And already Chairman has alluded to the fact that he is one of the key and first ones to be setting up such a plant. But ladies and gentlemen, we all know that without the raw material, no matter how large or small the factory is, it will be a white elephant. It cannot produce. And that is why we have decided and taken it upon ourselves to support the supply side. And as you know, GEPA, our responsibility is to provide markets for Ghanaian products. But thankfully, within this project, we are assured of ready markets for the starch. And so we are told that that is not a problem. And so even though GEPA will also be supporting in that area, we feel strongly that we need to work at the supply side of issues. And that is why our farmers are going to be very, very important in this initiative. Although Ghana in recent times has produced huge volumes of fresh cassava with an estimated quantity of more than 22 million metric tons in 2019, exports of cassava starch and other cassava derivatives have been very low compared to countries in Asia that also produce similar volumes of fresh cassava. And therefore, the business model that Tiast and Stanbic and GEPA are bringing on board would help to ameliorate the situation. And we all know that even though we produce a huge volumes of cassava, industrial cassava is competing with domestic cassava for consumption. We all have our fufu, we eat a lot of banku, the kukunte is there. And so even though we produce huge volumes, most of it end up in our kitchen. And so we don't have the space to produce enough for industrial processing. Yet there is also another big challenge that has to do with the right type of planting material, the right type of the cassava, the high-yielding starch ones, perhaps we do not have. And therefore, we need to make a conscious effort to move towards support for planting material that will enable us to get enough starch content. And now it's refreshing for Chairman to mention that his particular cassava passed the test when the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture visited them. And this is very, very refreshing. And so we may wish to use his farm as a model for this project. Ladies and gentlemen, global demand for cassava starch stood at $1.78 billion in 2019 and $1.74 billion in 2020. As has been indicated, we cannot produce cassava starch without the right variety of cassava and the volumes. It is in this vein that GEPA is working with stakeholders to encourage and support the cultivation of the right varieties for processing, such as the Sika Banchi, among others. The fact that there is an offtake agreement between processors and Tiast resolves a large part of the challenges that afflict the entire value chain of cassava and other products. We take this opportunity to assure our partners and our stakeholders of our commitment to see to the strengthening and the growth of this priority value chain. We believe exports hold the key to the industrialization of this country. Export Ghana, export more. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Ms. Alexander. God bless you. Thank you, sir. All right. Next to speak with us, he's a leader, a public speaker, and an uprising agricultural expert with in-depth knowledge in agriculture industrialization, with the cassava industry as his specialty. He's a strong advocate for agriculture industrialization and has the ambition of setting up one of the biggest cassava processing factory in the country. And he's also a business development manager at Tiast West Africa. To give us the overview, let's welcome Mr. Augustine Samoa.
morning. The Chairman, Honorable Representative of Stanbic Bank, GIPA, PIWC, and others. A well-cherished Nananum, our investors, farmers, stakeholders in agriculture industry, ladies and gentlemen. Over the years, opportunities have sprung up in various sectors that have been the breakthrough for many people who took advantage of it. The discovery of oil, the massive revamp of the real estate industry, the mining industry, the introduction of electronic transportation, commonly known as the Uber, the Yango, the Bolt, what have you, presented opportunities that many capitalized on and up to now are benefiting from. I'm sure there are some beneficiaries from this place still in there. This morning, I'm here to speak to you about a multi-million turnkey investment opportunity in the agricultural sector being spearheaded by Tiast Group, supported by GIPA and Stanbic Bank. Our Honorable Chairman spoke about the fact that most of us here should take advantage of this opportunity so that we can make some money for ourselves. That is what we believe in Tiast Group, actually. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about agriculture. And I acknowledge the fact that there are many issues being faced in this sector. And the speaker who just left actually spoke about some of them. Ranging from raw materials, lack of raw materials, technical and technological know-how, financial, and the most important one, a ready market. Just to mention a few. But today, I'm here to give you good news. I'm here to give you a message of hope, a message of comfort. And those who want to go into the agriculture sector, specifically the agricultural industrialization sector, are now safe to go into this and to take advantage of this one. You might be asking, what Tiast want to do? Ladies and gentlemen, in the next 10 years, Tiast Group, an international company with over 20 years experience in the installation, manufacturing, and the designing of agricultural processing machines and the producing or the provision of technical and technology services, as well as other things that helps the processing lines flourish and last long, is going to partner with a lot of people. And in this partnership, we are providing an opportunity for anyone here who will partner with us to be part of the people who would get or who will be part of the 1,000 factories that will be setting up across West Africa. These factories, we believe, will provide about 1 million jobs. And the most interesting part for yourself, because I'm sure you are asking, if we set up the factories, what benefit do I get? These factories, because of our quick and quality offtake services, which we have secured from China, of about 600,000 tons of ready market for cassava starch, potato starch, and the rest, would actually help anybody who partners with us to actually be part of the money that will be made out of this 1,000 factories that will be setting up. And that money is as much as 10 billion US dollars. I'm sure you sitting here want to be part of that. And I'm sure you'll be part of that. At Tiast Group, when we talk about support, we don't just use the word. We mean it. And that is why we've put in strategic plans to make sure that anybody who's coming on board, acknowledging all the faults and the problems in this industry, would have an easy way to go when it comes to industrialization. And this is why we have signed an MOU with Stanbic Bank. You were actually given more details from the representative, so I'll not go so much into it. But what I would say is that with this partnership, Tiast Group is actually going to guarantee for you who partners with us and want to set up this industry to get a guarantee, or let me say a financial leasing, up to 70 to 80% of the total factory cost to set up your factory for you. I believe Stanbic Bank deserves a round of applause for this. This would actually go a long way to solve the problem of lack of financial support that in many years has deterred a lot of people. In fact, many of you are sitting here from going into agriculture industrialization. We all know that there are many stakeholders who do not venture into this sector because they fear they will not get the world standard equipment and also the support to set up the industries. Many a times we hear that the people who go into this industry have to go through the pain, go through all the processes just to get machines from Denmark, from Germany, from China. And when they even come, the experts who even come and run the factory becomes a problem. They have to now be calling them every day. I had a client who had purchased the machines and brought it. Just for the people to come and then install became a problem. And his timeline was actually affected. This will cost the person. So this has actually deterred a lot of people from going into this industry. What I'm saying is worry not. Because with Tiast Group, it is not just the processing line we are talking about here. So the money that we are securing for you would be able to cover and secure a world standard, high quality, fully automated processing line, its installation, a qualified technician to actually man your processing line, the civil and steel structure, the water treatment system, water purification system, the materials, the workmanship, and a lot of things that we'll be showing you when we advance in our conversations. Tiast has put in place also a ready market, as I mentioned, to support the processed goods that will come out of the factory. So you don't now have to worry about, what if I invest 1 Ghana cedi, 2 cedis, how am I going to get my money back? I actually went to some investor gave me 2 months or 3 years to bring the money back. You don't have to worry about that. With Tiast, we do a quick weekly offtake service. And my colleagues would actually enlighten you more when it comes to the technical service and also the offtake service. So I'll just leave it here for them to go into details. Maybe some people are new to the cassava industry, so they do not know the worth of cassava starch. In fact, everything that we are having here, from the nose masks to the shirts, to the fabrics that they used, to the shoes and the slippers that we are wearing, to the high heels, and even the makeup that we are doing, contains a bit of starch. Starch is actually used in over 2,000 factories in China. And that is where the 6,000 tons or 600,000 tons of cassava starch order is going to. So you realize that this is actually worth a lot. When we were watching the video, our CEO, Madame Lisa Howe, spoke about the fact that China is importing or using about 3 million tons of cassava starch every year. Actually, the demand is actually 9 million. But the fact that they are not getting, that's why they are using the 3 million. So it means there's a large gap of about 6 million, which just is only covering about 600,000. Of course, we are going to increase it as time goes on. So this industry is worth going into. In fact, if I'm not scared, I'll say it's even more lucrative than the gold that we are doing and even the oil that we are doing. If we take the industrialization sector very serious, we are going to make about 3 to 80 million US dollars every single year. For an individual, this is not a collective one like the 10 billion one. Depending on the capacity that you do, you'll be earning from 3 million to 80 million US dollars every year. I'm not talking about any story or any fairy tale. It's actually the truth. And when you come and engage us, we'll show you how it's going to be done. With this opportunity, what I'm saying is very simple. You need 100% funding to go into agriculture industrialization. I'm not disputing the fact that it's capital intensive. But what I'm saying here is that the opportunity being presented to you is for an average setup of a fully automated cassava starch or any other processing line. Tiast Group together with Stanbic Bank and GIPA is making sure that you are only using 20 to 30% of that cost to own the total factory instead of that 100% that you are not getting. And that's why you are not going into agriculture industrialization. A lot of you are nodding, and I believe this is an opportunity that you take advantage of. So I'll say, indeed, Tiast Group and its partners have made it so easy. And so this is the time for us to invest in agriculture. The opportunity is here. Let's take advantage of it. So I say, as I always say, come on board. Let's make the millions and the billions together. My name is Augustine Samoa, and I'm always available to help you. I am a business development manager of Tiast Group. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Augustine Esamwa, for that detailed overview. Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the former Minister of Tourism, Creative Arts and Culture, Honorable Catherine Afeku. Representing the Kwewihene, the Asibre Ekwamwa Ejapon II, let's acknowledge the presence of the Kwewu Kotosuhene, Nana Kwachi Owusu Ansa II. And he is with Nana Edu Obobi. Thank you so much for acknowledging our invitation. With a bachelor's degree in agricultural engineering, a master's in engineering in agri-chain management, and a postgraduate certificate in farm machinery and food safety in international food, the next speaker works with the Greater Accra Regional Coordination Council and collaborates with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture in his line of duty. He continues to be a vanguard of values required to make the agricultural sector thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, please let's welcome the Greater Accra Regional Director of Agriculture, Mr. Eric Asemeni. Thank you.
Good morning once again. Representative of the Royal Majesty Ken Taki Teko, and all the revered chiefs here in present, and all invited dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. I'm much elated to be called upon to express my thoughts on the importance of agricultural industrialization. Ghana has come a very long way, and for once, two synergies are at play. The Planting for Food and Jobs program, spearheaded by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, has also flagged cassava production as a key commodity. And for the Ministry of Trade and Industry, also flagging one district, one factory The presence of Tiast Group is just sinking in line with this set out objective. And let me speak from my side. With the planting for food and jobs, it comes with several pillars. We're trying to provide much more support for extension activities. We are also into the provision of seed or planting material so far as cassava industry is concerned. We are also providing subsidized fertilizer. This seed is also subsidized. So right away, 50% is off your headache. Then again, we also providing the extension support services that I talked about. And integrated into this production arena is the discovery by Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology of the cassava harvester. For once, Ghana is also mechanizing its cassava harvesting. In fact, it's been approved by FAO and it's working so well. And I wish I had the clip of it to just buttress my point that there is, within the cassava industry space, there is also this improved machinery to augment efforts of providing cheaper inputs into the development of these fields. Also coupled with these are the agricultural machinery. A whole set of tractor, heavily subsidized, 40% subsidy. And it goes for between 106 and 110. And I think looking at the price of a tractor on the open market, it's around over 400,000 Ghana cedis. For government to just give out tractors, full complement, the plow body, the harrow, and the trailer as part of, in addition to the main head itself, tells you government is also ready to partner whoever is interested. And for those of us who may need the tractors, if you registered with the Agric Engineering Services Directorate with your application, I know there's a new batch of consignments at the port that are being offloaded and being reassembled. Very soon, these tractors will be made available to interested parties. And I will be so much glad to see much more cassava investors going in for such equipment to augment their work. Like I said, KNUST has developed a cassava harvester. Within 45 minutes, a hectare of cassava can be easily harvested. Gone were those days, you need to go in with a cutlass, a hoe and cutlass, and be digging and trying to pull with manual strength. Now it is possible to harvest cassava mechanically. And those machines are not anything that expensive. The last time I checked was still 19,000 Ghana cedis. Just hitch it to your tractor, and as you go across your ridge lines, all these materials are coming out neatly. Percentage of breakage is very minimal, and I would want to encourage us all that in a time like this, where technical and financial services have been put together to augment a national assignment, I would want to endear every one of us to be thinking of it. It's not just, a lot more people can be going into these services. A lot of farmers have tractors, but are not aware that there is also a cassava harvester. So within your enclave, you can offer this kind of support of harvesting for farmers. Then it's a whole big industry. We are all looking for work, and these are the ways of creating the work. One, you go in with the harvester. It does a multi-purpose function. You can ridge as you move, as you traverse on the farm field, into ridges. A machine that can ridge, and that same machine can also do the harvesting. In fact, I didn't know there would be this thing. Otherwise, I would have just made provision of some of the clips of the new Made in Ghana, by our own Professor Bobobi of KNUS. So these facilities are available for us. And once we've gotten all these, then we can also be sure that with a new set of improved varieties that are available, we can easily attain the higher yields that are expected. You heard of the name, as mentioned by Gepa, Sikabanchi. There is enough planting material available, and if we still need more, we can easily multiply, copies them, and just distribute. And luckily enough for you to, government is also subsidizing the cost of the cassava planting material. So everything is on the lower side. It is just a matter of the willingness, gathering courage, and venturing into this arena of agricultural industrialization. There is a whole lot you can partake, like I've started enumerating. Either you are multiplying, preparing lands for farmers, and like I said, smallholder farmers have been the bane of all our cassava production. But here is the time for us to consolidate some of these lands to make meaningful investments of all this machinery and equipment that we are talking about. We need to talk to our farmers. Hopefully, by the close of this year, all regional directors of agriculture in Ghana, we are meeting at Takoradi to deliberate on this innovative approach that Tiast is bringing on board. And we hope to dissect it very well. We've noted with grave concern the concerns from the supply side, and our farmers are to do the delivery. That is why I'm giving you the hint that, look, there are equipment out there, there are machinery out there subsidized by the state. Get yourself registered and mobilize some funds. Luckily enough, Stanbic is still around. You can still mobilize and get these cheaper tractor services, supply, and also try to deliver services to most of our farmers. They need the equipment. Like I said, these specialized machines cannot be in the hands of anyone. So those of you business people, investors that are here, we hope that when that window of opportunity is opened for the next batch of tractors, already over 600 tractors have been distributed, and we are still expecting more. So there's a huge opportunity out there, either in land preparation services, in planting services. There are machinery even for planting cassava now. Like I said, it's rather unfortunate I didn't bring those clips for you to see for yourself that now it is not that drudgery industry that we are talking about. If we are to take advantage of this multi-billion industry that the cassava, industrial cassava starch provides. So with that in place, we can be assuring ourselves that we will have enough yield to feed our various plant lines. With industrialization will also mean that we can now also comfortably enjoy our meals. Of course, there are different varieties of cassava that we are dealing with here. That of the industrial starch and those poundable ones like Afisi and others that are there to also be taken care of. With the industrialization also comes with the engendering of technological advancements and innovations. Already we've started seeing them. There's an equipment that I forgot to mention in the first instance. Now there are also crop protection equipment that government is supplying. The boom sprayers that can easily spray over the cassava fields at their tender stages. The boom sprayers too are also available for sale. It costs not less than, I think, about 30,000 Ghana cedis. It's also heavily subsidized. Because if you watch on the net, it's far above what government is offering to our farmers. There is also opportunity once we industrialize to offer much more employment. Now, we are talking about the entire value chain. A lot of work can be done along the value chain just by single-handedly daring to invest into this cassava industry. Just as you know, alongside making food available also comes with the provision of better logistics. Now, for once, we'll be seeing much more. Unfortunately, we don't have it in Ghana, but if you go to Burkina Faso, just across our borders, all agricultural hauling trucks are marked green and white. The police see them and they let them pass. Probably we'll have to do something so far as perishable goods are concerned in Ghana, so that we don't unduly delay them at various stops and checkpoints. With industrialization also comes with specialization. People can easily specialize. With the cassava, there is a lot much more, like the earlier speakers alluded to. There is a lot more that we can do with cassava. Our own well-branded kokonte can be exported. Our own well-branded, what's it called? This banku mix, this, the dough. Even now, we are drying it. It's not in a mash form again, but it's in a powdered form. The banku mix is well being craved for by our brothers in the diaspora. They are looking for it and they can't find it. Our own, the starch, our plywood industry are seriously also in need of such outputs. So there is a whole huge market for it. And to fill up that space, we are all counting on each and every one of you here. You have a role to play. We are looking up to you that, look, take that bold step, invest, and you'll be shocked the kind of environment that we'll all be yearning for. And thanks to Tiast and Stanbic, at least we've seen one industry. Cocoa, we don't count cocoa now, but the other lesser ones. Cassava, luckily enough, has found a roadmap. I would have wished maize. We produce the most maize in Ghana since independence. Last year, but that was the worst year we were lambasted for not able to keep the maize well because it found its way outside the country. And these are industrial lines. We think that people should team up. You are business people. Team up and hold on to this thing. Luckily enough, government has provided a lot of warehouses, about 80 of them. Each one not less than 1,000 metric tons. And who to manage them? As business people, look, don't just think Greater Accra. A lot of warehouses are scattered all over. And you could use it as a conduit to mop up all the excess food that farmers are now harvesting. They are producing them. Let's keep them well. You hear of the drought that occurred within the sub-region. Luckily enough, we were able to make an advancement. It will be very important for us to consolidate every gains. Otherwise, our neighbors, Nigeria is not too good in terms of food availability, and they may come and just buy from us. Burkina is an annual event. We need to keep the produce that we've managed to produce through our toil and sacrifices. When I see government spending so much on subsidy, I know it's for a good cause. But when we let loose of the gains to go out, then it becomes a worry for all of us. On that note, let me thank you all for your audience. And like Mary Hendrickson said, decisions about who produces our food, what food is produced, how it is produced, and who gets to eat this food have been steadily moving from the household level and from governments and to corporation boardrooms. Thank you very much for your audience.
Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, concerning our speaker, Mr. Augustine Samoa, the business development manager from Tiast, you can meet him at the first booth 1, just on your left-hand side as well. And if you want to use the washroom as well, we have the washroom at where the lights are on your left-hand side as well. We're going to take a short recess. We're going to receive a performance from Asheshe Group from Jamestown, a cultural choreography. Please, where are they? All right, you can follow us. All right, so let's welcome them.
Thank you so much, Ashosha Cultural Group, for that wonderful display. I would like to acknowledge the presence of Obrempon Ejapon Bedu Brobe Jasehene, representing Okofo Brofro Nana Dr. Yao Ejeyi II, Oman Hene and President of MEM Traditional Council. Thank you so much, Nana. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the CEO of Nkukuni Nkaka Farms and Allied Agro Industry. He's also a partner of Tiast, Mr. Jerry Affo. We also have the Acting Dean of Engineering in CAF University, Mr. Nana Ochre. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. We will take a short address from the co-CEO of Tiast West Africa. He has 10 years experience in quality control management, and he is the initiator and facilitator of Quality Control Circle Program. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming Frika Shell. Please let's give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Good morning to all. We welcome our chairman, our chiefs, and our partners with GIPA, Stanbic Bank, and also our distinguished guest. You're welcome. So thank you so much for your attending the meeting. I just have a short note. First, Tiast observe the challenges of agricultural processing. The challenges we are aware majorly are market, technology, and the financial. I think most of our Ghanaians, you also aware of these kinds of challenges for the agriculture processing. Second, Tiast Group is partner with GIPA and Stanbic Bank. We bring this innovation of the model. Tiast wants to cooperate with a local enterprise, with a local company. Because we partner with the bank, we partner with the institutions. We want to solve these kinds of challenges. And also apart from this, Tiast Group will interact with different institutions, different government agencies. We interact with the schools, the colleges. We interact with the companies. Because we know we are working on the value chain. We are the company. We are the limited company. So we need to co-work with different partners, the chiefs, the local peoples, the local famous people. We need to work together to find a solution, to find the way out. And finally, we can get a win-win relationship. So anyhow, a small note. I just mentioned the small, and for more information, our BDS, they give the very detailed presentation for it. And for more information, our people can, you can also reach our people. They are just in the cabin. So for more information, you can get from there. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Frika Shell, co-CEO of Tiast West Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, there's one of our chiefs is here that we want him to join up here. We need to acknowledge him. Obrimpong Ejapon Bedu Brobe Johnson, please, we'll ask you to join up here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for him as he joins us up here. Oh, let's do it better until he comes here. Let's give honor to him. Let's give honor to him. Wonderful. It's an honor to have him grace the occasion. As I said earlier, you can follow Tiast West Africa on social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Tiast Group. You go online, you find Tiast. You can also visit our website, www.tiastgroup. Also, okay, Kwemzi, please. Oh, let's put our hands together for the beautiful president.
Thank you so much. Moving on, our next speaker is a business development manager at Tiast Group, where she promotes the company's projects in Ghana and Africa. She possesses strong communication and negotiation skills and has facilitated the signing of partnerships in Ghana and West Africa, which includes the biggest starch project in West Africa, which will be the first of its kind. She is multilingual and believes that developing the agricultural sector through industrialization is a good way to start. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking on Tiast offtake services, please let's welcome Ms. Irene Saki. Thank you.
Nananom Mancheme, representatives of the various government institutions, CEOs of prestigious enterprises, representatives of Stanbic Bank, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. I deem it a great honor to speak to you today on our offtake support for Ghana and West Africa. I'd like to ask you a question. Do you consider farming a poor man's job? So it was Careers Day in one of the basic schools in Ghana, and this is the day where children are supposed to dress like the professions they aspire to be in future. And for the parents here, I'm sure some of you are very familiar with this, and you help your children with that. And some of the kids who wanted to be doctors, they wore their coats, they wore their stethoscopes. Those who wanted to be lawyers wore their wigs and gowns, nurses, teachers, all kinds of professions were present. Yet there was this peculiar little boy. All his friends and classmates were laughing at him because he had some debts on his shirt. It seemed deliberate. And the parents were concerned that who would let their child come and represent no profession. So lo and behold, the teacher went to the boy and asked, "What profession are you representing?" And he shouted, "I want to be a farmer. I will never be hungry." This is the mentality that everybody had about farming. They started to understand, okay, so that's why he's dressed like that. And it is very sad that in our country, a lot of people associate farming with poverty. In this current economy where unemployment has become a cankerworm that is plaguing our youth, people will not turn to agriculture. They are reluctant. They will do anything, but they want to shy away from agriculture. And I was recently very sad when I discovered that in the northern part of Ghana, we have university graduates with degrees who drive taxi tricycles, what we popularly call aboboya, as for a living. That is what they are doing. And all parts of their country, in every nook and cranny, you would find people looking for jobs, and they would do anything. Some are even turning to social vices, all because of unemployment. So this morning, what I'm here to say is that we should turn to agriculture. Agriculture can employ the youth. Agriculture is what can transform this country. Our country is blessed with so many resources. We are the second largest producer of cocoa in the world. We produce a lot of gold, bauxite. We have arable land all around us. We have a lot of resources. So it's about time that we focus on the resources that we have and add value to them. When you speak about arable land and farming, some countries don't have the advantage like we do. They don't have the all year round seasons like we do to plant all year. And so they have to import these kinds of value-added products. And so this is where our advantage lies. All the uncultivated land in the country can be used to earn us money. So at this point, I'd like to share my favorite quote, that if something must be done, it must be done well. if we are going to turn to agriculture, and if agriculture is going to be a cash cow that is going to earn millions for our economy, then we must not toe the path of our forefathers and farm the cutlass and whole way and engage only in subsistence farming for food. But we must produce for a larger market. We must produce on a larger scale, and we must produce to meet an actual demand for exports and not just for food. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I would actually like to begin my speech. So, you must be wondering why for such an event we are choosing cassava. I mean, when we talk about cassava, everybody has a different idea. For some of us, the tuber is the main ingredient for our Sunday special fufu and our benkwine with snails. For others, cassava is a lifesaver because when they were in senior high school, all they had was gari. And for some of us who come from more affluent homes, cassava is made into flour for our favorite pastries. So cassava means different things to different people. But this morning, I would like to reintroduce cassava, not as your favorite crop for your favorite food, but as your favorite crop for money. What am I talking about? This same cassava that we use for gari, for fufu, can be transformed into starch, ethanol, and other value-added products, which can earn more income for our country's economy. So some parts of the country, you find them selling a bag of cassava after a long harvest. You find them selling a bag at very low prices, about 200 cedis for a bag. Very sad. And some of the market women also will go and borrow from the farm, will go and lend it. They wouldn't pay back, and the market is very slow. But if we add value to this same cassava, a ton sells for about $480 currently. If we make that into ethanol, we are looking at almost $1,000 per ton. So this is what I'm talking about when I say value addition. Currently, there's a huge demand for cassava starch all around in the world. So like my colleague mentioned earlier, the textile industry, the paper, fuel industry, pharmaceuticals, many industries need cassava for production. And China alone is importing about 3 million tons annually. And so you realize that countries like Thailand, who have focused on starch production, are making a lot of money. So the average cassava farmer in Thailand is well-to-do. Meanwhile, the average cassava farmer in Ghana is really suffering. So there's a lot of gold in this our cassava. So this morning, we are here to present an opportunity to you. Like my colleague mentioned earlier, we have Stanbic Bank on board, who is ready to help you with the financing for the project if you want to start. We help you set up a cassava processing factory. And the best part of this is we guarantee the ready market. We are going to be your off-taker. And so if we help you with the factory setup, everything that you produce at your factory, all the starch, all the ethanol, is going to be sold by us. And currently, we have the channel to offtake 600,000 tons of starch. And this is going to increase in the near future. So on a weekly basis, we offtake about 440-footer containers of cassava starch from a single factory. And the best part of this is we even make the payments ahead. So you don't have to worry about when the money is going to come back from your sales. We pay ahead of schedule. We provide you some free packaging bags. And we've set up an international brand to sell this cassava. So this is the time for Made in Ghana starch to hit the international market. And Tiast is giving this opportunity. I believe this deserves a round of applause. This morning, all I'm saying is that we need to add value to what we produce. We shouldn't just produce for food to meet our local markets. We should add value to whatever we produce for a larger market. When we add value to what we produce, we can sell for higher prices. We can promote our country's economy. We can earn more money for our country. We prolong the life shelf. We don't have to worry about the crops going bad after 1 week if you have transformed it into something value added. So for those of us who have never considered agribusiness, now is the best time to invest and to make wealth from the industry. And for those of us who are already in agribusiness, let us add value to what we have and let us produce for a larger market. And Tiast is here to help you do that. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to end my speech by asking this question again. Do you consider farming a poor man's job? Thank you very much. My name is Irene Saki.
Thank you so much, Miss Irene Saki. Please, you can locate Miss Irene Saki in booth 2 after the program. The next speaker is from our partnering institutions, the Ghana Investment Promotions Authority. He is the Principal Investment Promotions Officer of Investor Services Division. Please let's welcome Mr. Kwame Kesi Ejapon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam. I stand on all the previous protocols and I say thank you for this opportunity to speak to you. I hope I'm permitted. Thank you. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Edward Ashon Latte, the Director of Investor Services at the GIPC, who unfortunately is unable to make it today due to another engagement that has taken him away. My presentation will be in the form of a slide, and I'll go through a bit quickly, but I'll be around for engagement after the event, so that if you have any other questions or inquiries, we can engage. I would like to start by saying that the Ghana Investment Promotion Center is set up to facilitate and promote investments into Ghana. And we are for both foreign and domestic investors. I want to re-emphasize that the GIPC has been set up and we function and serve all investors, foreign and domestic. There's this notion that we deal with only foreign investors. That is not the right notion. Next slide, please. So our mandate is to promote investment, like I said, and facilitate investment in the various economies. We provide investor advisory services, joint venture facilitation. We provide project identification and other services. Next slide, please. Our functions, like I mentioned, include coming up with the ideal investment laws to help the investment climate, assist investors. We initiate and we organize events, exhibitions, we collect investment data, we register and we monitor investments in the country, we administer various investment incentives to our investors. Next slide, please. Our programs include Grow in Ghana, Grow with Ghana campaign. I'm sure a lot of you might have seen this on our social media websites and on our various platforms. We are trying to go around the whole country to encourage the agric sector. So we say Grow in Ghana, Grow with Ghana campaign, and we profile companies that are doing exceptionally well in their various spheres. We also have a project that we call the Regional Sensitization Tours. And during these tours, we go around the country to sensitize people about the GIPC and what we do. And we try and take packages, businesses from our regions. So say if you have a small cassava farm somewhere in the northern region and the Volta region, during these tours, we try to help you to package it, to make it presentable, to make it sellable to the foreign investor. You might be willing to offload some shares in your company. So we help you package your project and we upload it onto our website for international viewership. We organize various breakfast meetings once every quarter to try and address the needs and the challenges of our investor community and businesses also. And every year we try to organize the Ghana Club 100, which is an annual ranking of how well businesses are doing. It's a very prestigious ranking, and most companies strive to get onto that ranking. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So we provide a number of services to the agricultural sector, and we believe that the agri sector is one of the main sectors of the Ghanaian economy that should be supported. We provide registered agri companies with us with the various services, like helping them secure exemptions from their machines and equipment. So if you are registered with the GIPC and you import a machine or an equipment, you don't pay any duty on it. We help you to clear it. If you need some expatriates to work in your company, we try and support that activity. If you need to reach certain markets and you have a problem, we try to liaise with our international partners and help you find links and partnerships. We also liaise between us and you and the ministers and the departments and the agencies. We have a very strong bond with all the stakeholders in the industries to try to make sure that your investment is profitable. Please, next slide. Let me talk a bit more about the exemptions. So, like I said, we give you exemptions on your machines and your equipment that you bring in, duty exemptions, that is. You are 100% exempted from payment of direct and indirect duties on all and levies on all everything that you import, machines and equipment. We are not empowered to give you exemptions on raw materials, unfortunately, but anything machinery and equipment, we are empowered to give you that exemption. We also grant tax holidays and concessionary tax rates. So if you're into tree crop farming, for the first 10 years, you pay 1% corporate tax. After the 10 years period, you pay 25%, which is the normal corporate tax rate. If you are into cash crops, farming, livestock, and other activities like cattle and fish, for the first 5 years, you pay only 1% corporate tax. If you're into cattle farming, for the first 10 years, you pay 1% corporate tax. We believe that the beginning of a business, especially your kind of business, is a bit tricky. So if we bring the corporate tax down, it helps you till you're on your feet and established enough to be able to pay the required corporate tax. Next slide, please. So if you bring your machines in, we have accelerated depreciations and deductions, and we have double taxation and bilateral treaties with various companies. And this goes, especially the second one, goes for the international companies. Some of them want assurance that they won't be taxed twice. So we have a lot of DTAs and BITs with various countries worldwide. Next slide, please. From January 2010 to September 2021, we had registered 33 projects and recorded a total of about $1.1 billion worth of investments. So these are agricultural companies that we have registered at the GIPC. Next slide, please. Next, please. I've spoken about these, so I'll just rush through the exemptions on duties, the tax holidays. Next slide, please. Also, there's locational incentives. Based on where you are located, we give you an incentive. If you are in Accra and Tema and you are into agro-processing, your corporate tax is 20%. If you are in other regional capitals, it comes down to 15%. If you are outside the other regional capitals, it comes down to 10%. If you're in the northern regions, then you pay only 5% corporate tax. So the northern, upper east, and upper west regions, you pay only 5% corporate tax. This is to encourage people to site their investments, their factories, their establishments outside of Accra. We believe that Accra and Tema is getting a bit choked. But the whole of Ghana, if you go up north, we have very arable, plain, level land suitable for mechanized farming. So we try to encourage investors, including you, to look at other regions, to look at other areas of the country and invest in. Next slide, please. Yeah, so that's all that I have for you this morning. I'll be around to engage with you if you have any other questions or inquiries, how the GIPC can help you. I'll be around to assist you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kwame, let's put our hands together once again for him.
All right. Our next speaker is a leadership enthusiast with great passion for agriculture, entrepreneurship, and also business development. She's a graduate of the University of Professional Studies, Accra. At Tiast West Africa, she performs multiple tasks, which includes project management, developing growth strategies, brand content development, prospecting, and facilitating negotiations in Ghana and also at the international level. At the first half of the year 2021, she was awarded one of the best employees of Tiast West Africa for her hard work and attaining the highest level of business development managerial hierarchy. She's currently a business development manager at Tiast Group, and she aspires to be a great woman of influence in all respective fields of interest in the near future. Ladies and gentlemen, to take us through the technical service of Tiast West Africa, Ms. Priscilla Fiati.
Thank you so much, Mr. Peter Blay. Special guest of honor, NIME, representatives of various governmental and private institutions, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a good morning to you all once again. So today we are gathered here because we realize the importance of value addition and agricultural industrialization, and we have realized that it has immeasurable opportunities for us to tap into and make more returns out of it. So we all know that agriculture in Ghana has great potentials and a bright future, but unfortunately, we are faced with lots of challenges. I mean, specifically technical problems and in the agricultural industry, especially the processing industry. And unfortunately, we've not been able to maximize the potentials that we have. So earlier this year, I had the opportunity to visit a friend of mine's factory. So he told me of, I mean, for security reasons, that's not my friend on the screen, but for presentation, that is my friend. So I visited his factory, and he had told me earlier he had acquired some automatic machines overseas to aid him process palm fruits into palm oil. And I mean, he was very happy about the processing plant when he informed me earlier. A few months down the line, after running the factory over a period, the factory experienced a major breakdown. And I mean, every part of the processing line now that he told me were automatic now needed manual intervention. So to pick the fruits to a section where it will be heated to the crushing level, all of those things needed human intervention. So I asked him, why did you not think about the technical support, whoever the investors, the manufacturers of the processing plants were, how they would assist you with all of these? And he told me, well, from the recommendation he had, he just knew this would last him a long while. Unfortunately, it didn't. So I grabbed the opportunity, introduced him to Tiast, and actually today he's a very happy client of Tiast. What am I saying? Like our various industries that we have in Ghana, all the time we invest huge sums of money into agro projects without thinking about how long these agricultural machineries we've acquired will take us to. We don't think about how the technical support, we don't think about technical support we will get from the agricultural manufacturers, the processing plant manufacturers. We are not thinking about technical support. We're not thinking about the training that they would offer to the locals who may have to, man the factories without the presence of the manufacturers. And this has gone a long way to lead us to have always experiencing post-harvest losses, delay in production. We are operating below capacity. And then, apparently we'll have to shut down the factories, and then they turn into either tourist sites or, plants where the media can have documentaries and news on every time. Now, I think that from a book I read while I was young, I was always told from the book, I learned that it is better you have a caution than have a deep regret. Now, today, Tiast is here with the solutions for the technical support. Why am I saying this? With over 20 years of experience, we have put together a wonderful engineering team who have the expertise to design, manufacture, install, commission, and maintain agro-processing machineries. For the purposes of today, let's talk about the cassava starch processing factory. Now, Tiast has been able to put together a team who are able to design this processing line, the factory like you see on the screen. These machines are operating 24/7 non-stop. Now, the processing lines are 100% automatic, and so you need less human and personal supervision on these processing lines. Another wonderful thing is that before we even, leave you just this way, we are bringing in engineers to the site to ensure that the machines are running at its full capacity. Now, what happens is that we're looking at not just, giving you the processing factories and leaving you there. No, we know that spare parts and consumables, they are like pills to the processing plant. And so once the equipment is about to maybe face any breakdown, the sensors can pick them. And then we have our after-sales center, the spare parts hub, as Dawa. That is where we are building the main manufacturing service center for the spare parts. And that is where we are going to be manufacturing all the spare parts that will supply to every factory we build for all our clients. One wonderful thing about this is that though we have the headquarters at Dawa, we are moving to every region or every location that the factories will be to have one-stop shops close to you. So once you have a breakdown or you experience any challenges, for spare parts, you are looking at 0 waiting time. So you don't have to wait over a long period of time to get access to these things. Now, for maintenance services, our engineers on site are looking at training every local operator you recruit to the processing plant to at least understand how the systems operate, how to maintain them and repair them. So we are starting the training right from the installation stages because we want them to understand how these processing lines are going to be working for the time being. Now, another thing we are looking at is the technology and service management. So we are looking at giving you 3 years warranty on the main equipment. You won't get this anywhere. We are looking at giving you 3 years warranty. You have the free skill training, like I mentioned. We are providing you with engineers and technical experts on site. And also, we'll give you 5 years free technology upgrade. There are a lot of things that we have to talk about. We are putting in place the wastewater treatment system. One thing you will know about cassava starch processing is that after it has been dewatered, the water, if it's not treated, can really produce a bad odor. And if the whole environment is smelling, you always have problems with EPA. And so we are looking at avoiding all of that. Now, product quality is very key to us. Because we are exporting to the international market, we have to produce whatever is meeting the standards. Hence, we are looking at we've actually coated every part of the processing line that will come in contact with the cassava slurry, that's the crushed cassava, with food-grade stainless steel. Like we all know, our cutlery sets are usually made of food-grade stainless steel so that they don't rust and contaminate whatever we are eating. It's the same way we have embedded that into our processing plants. Ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at offering you all these things at your availability. Rather for us to look at importing machines like my friend did without knowing where you can locate the manufacturer. If you have issues with your processing plant, you cannot actually get them repaired like we always faced in Ghana. Rather, you can choose Tiast because we have put systems in place right from the beginning to the end. Apart from the fact that we are offering you all these wonderful technical support, we're also looking at giving you equipment like the harvesters, the planters, the harrowers to support you on the plantation. Now, as part of the training, we're also looking at partnering with universities to train the technical students from the universities to understand how these things operate. And so right from their completion of the university into the manufacturing industries, they would understand how to use these equipment. Another interesting thing is that apart from the cassava starch processing plant, we also have the technology for producing things like sweet potato starch, which also has a very high price on the international market. If we look at rubber processing, sisal and others, once you see us, we'll explain everything to you. Now, I would say that value addition goes beyond buying highly efficient equipment. Technology and technical support is very key. Product quality is also very key. And we must be able to produce products that compete the international market to attract more cities into our country. What I would say is that Tiast is offering us an opportunity to own factories, a processing plant that earns us, little or no supervision. We don't have to waste time. Our processing plants with the cassava, you don't have to peel. Right from the farm, it moves into the processing plant and then it goes. So the clients who have visited our offices have seen videos of how the processing plants operate and they can bear witness to that. And so I would say that let's come on board and push Ghana into the next level because Ghana can be a place where we can actually have our peace of mind and produce the best of quality. Like all my colleagues have said, we have everything it takes to make us get whatever we want. So let us maximize the returns from what we have and make Ghana proud. My name is Priscilla Fiati, and I'm a business development manager with Tiast Group. I'm looking at supporting you in any way I can, responding to all your queries, and then ushering you into the processing industry. Thank you so much for it.
Thank you so much, Ms. Priscilla Fiati. If you want to interact with Ms. Priscilla Fiati, you can go to booth 3 after the event. Thank you so much once again. There's some people that I want us to acknowledge. We have Dr. Charles Yao-Brempong Yabua, Director of University of College of Agriculture and Environmental Studies, and also Dr. Wisdom Mawuli. He's a project research lead at University of College and Agriculture and Environmental Studies. Let's put our hands together for them. All right, so as she was talking about the technical services, you were hearing machines, and I believe that you're wondering where these machines are going to come from. So we're going to take a quick look at where the machines that we are bringing to you are being produced. If the media guys are ready, can we have it on our screens?
So that is the factory based in China, where the factories are manufactured and then transported to other countries. At this point, we will take a presentation from our very own team member, a business development manager at Tiast Group. Her current roles include marketing, sales supervision, brand content development, and business strategy development. She is very proficient in the French language and was honored one of the best employees at Tiast West Africa for the first half of 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, giving us a presentation on Tiast client services, please let's welcome Mrs. Alberta Sefa Bwampo. Thank you.
The special guest of honor, Nananum, MPs present, directors of various governmental and non-governmental institutions, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon once again. I know it has been a long day for us all, having listened to speeches from our various seasoned speakers. I must tell you that Tiast wants a collaborative effort in pushing the agricultural industrialization agenda. As your last speaker, I'll be very brief and concise as possible. I am sure the question you want to ask, as of now, is that what's next after this conference? Perhaps you're asking yourself whether you are an ideal client for Tiast Group. Well, the good news is everyone can be a part of this life-changing opportunity, regardless your occupation. And so we have over 30 partners who have signed up to this project. And as you see in these current pictures, these are partners of diverse backgrounds. And our business team is ever ready to guide you through the process to own your factory. There are 5 key milestones in owning your factory through Tiast. First, we take you through a consultation where we explain in details the requirements of the project. We let you know the various factory capacities as well as its associated raw material requirements. We also explain into details the factory operational information. At the consultation stage, you also grasp an idea or a background of your experience in agro-processing as well. The second stage or step we take you through is the proposal discussion. At the proposal discussion, we take you through the cost details and other technical information. And so the proposal is issued to you for your consideration. The third stage is the contract agreement or negotiation. The contract we have with you covers 3 main areas: the factory, production, and off-taking, technology as well. In the contract, the rights and responsibilities of the parties are actually based on a mutual understanding between Tiast and yourself. In the first step, we will introduce you to Stanbic Bank, which is our official financing partner. Stanbic Bank would approve 70 to 80% of the total project cost for you in a financial lease. The final step will then be the execution of the project. The execution of the project includes the factory setup, production, and off-taking of the final produce. We at Tiast ensure that we partner you at every single stage of the agri value chain. And so through our collaborations with various governmental institutions such as CSIR, Crop Research Institute, we help our partners adopt the best farming practices to increase their yield. Reliability and excellent customer satisfaction are our hallmark. And so the testimonies of our current clients are enough evidence of our good work. Ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you that Tiast has what it takes to help you unlock the wealth in agriculture. And so the green gold is here, and there isn't a better time to partner with us than now. And I would go with a popular Chinese saying, which goes, "Xiang li ji xiang, shi yu ju xiang," which means a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So take that bold step with us today. Please do well to interact with our business development managers at the booth. We are ever ready to guide you through the process in agro-processing. My name is Alberta Sifa-Buampong, a business development manager at Tiast, and I'm ever willing to guide you through the journey in agro-processing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Alberta. All right, so we're about to end very soon. But before we do, please, if you check in the newsletters and the brochures in front of you, there's an inquiry form in there that we would love you to fill. Please kindly put down every detail that is being requested in there, your full name, your business information as well. Before we take the closing remarks, I would like us to do that exercise so that you won't forget. So pick up the inquiry form, your pens. There are pens also there. All right. Thank you so much. And please, there's also lunch tickets in there. I believe you're not going to misplace it. It's very important. So to give us the closing remarks. Yes, please.
All right. Okay. Thank you. All right. My question, it's more of a statement than a question, and I'm very happy that it's Royal Highness is here, because it's relating to matters of land acquisition, because I had the opportunity of working with IITA in in Nigeria, Ibadan, and it goes to the issue of land acquisition. You don't get to B without going through A. So there's this understanding they have over there in Nigeria that as long as what you're planting is less than a year, the yield is less than a year, you can freely go to any land and just plant. But it's different here in Ghana. You go on someone's land, next thing, before you know, you are beaten up that, it belongs to some Lebanese man, with all due respect. So, if there's anything Manche can do for us by speaking with other chiefs, that, this is a wonderful initiative. If there's any way the other chiefs can come on board, and if we have farmers that want to plant for this same initiative, they should have a simple understanding that as long as the crop is less than a year, we can freely go ahead and do what we want to do. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. So I believe the business managers will also help with that. You can consult them so that they can also take that initiative and lead you also to the places that you can get these assistance. All right, so we're going to take the closing remarks from one of the business development assistants at Tiast West Africa. She has a Bachelor of Arts degree in political science and French. She's also a bilingual who is fluent with the language of French. And she's a leader and a team-oriented individual who has the passion for humanitarian work and promoting of self-development. Ladies and gentlemen, to give us the closing remarks, let's welcome Ms. Christodia Asamoah. Oh, let's do better for the beautiful lady.
Distinguished guests, you would agree with me that this conference has been very impactful. I believe we now see the need to add value to our raw materials through agricultural processing if we want to develop this country. First and foremost, we would like to express our sincerest appreciation to Obrempon Nana Ejapon Bedu Brobe, representative of the Memhene. A round of applause, please. We would also like to specially appreciate all our distinguished chiefs present. The Breman Esukuma Hene, or therefore Amwakwa Bwedu, the Eti Mokwa Hene, or Siadie Yo Kwesi Kenin IV, the Seshishrano Hene, Okoji Amai Kweku Jampra III, the Enyan Abasa Paramount Chief, Osajefo Kwame Akonu III, the Yeji Paramount Chief, Pemam Pim Yao Cabresi V, the Edra Hene, Berima Osei Shulia II, and finally the Busugwa Hene, Nana Ohene Nyako III. A round of applause for all our distinguished chiefs. Thank you so much. In our midst, we also have the MP for Yilo Krobo, Honorable Albert Nyakote. We also have the former Minister for Tourism, Creative Arts and Culture, Honorable Catherine Afeku. Thank you so much for gracing this occasion with your presence. Also would like to express our gratitude to the host of this conference, the Chairman of First Machinery Group, Mr. William Opombio. Also shall we put our hands together for Mr. William Opombio? Also to the head of Stanbic Bank, Agribusiness, Mr. Benedict Kwesi Obeng, and all other representatives of Stanbic Bank, the Chief Director of Ministry of Trade and Industry, Mr. Patrick Nimo, the Greater Accra Regional Director, Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Mr. Eric Asameni, the CEO of Ghana Exports Promotion Authority, GIPA, Dr. Ifwa Asabia Asari, the co-CEO of Tiast West Africa, Mr. Frika Chow, CEOs of prestigious institutions present, all eminent farmers, entrepreneurs, businessmen, and stakeholders. It has been such a rare honor having you at this morning's conference. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference would not have been successful without the warm reception and excellent service of the staff of Canwin Hotel, which is also the Tiast Clubhouse. And for this, we say thank you. We would also like to show our appreciation to the media houses for their instrumental role in making this conference a success. A final thanks goes to the hardworking staff of Tiast for organizing this conference, and to you, seated right here, for gracing this occasion with your presence. I think that we all deserve a round of applause. Like we say in our local dialect, Moni aha ni babaowe, apa babaowe ye ede. To whom much is given, much is expected. Ghana is so blessed with vast land for agriculture, good climate, a peaceful economy, and ultimately ranks the fifth producer of cassava in the world. Unfortunately, Ghana does not form a part of the global actors in the cassava value chain. Why? Because we do not industrialize. We do not put our resources to their maximum use. However, all hope is not lost, because this conference has enlightened us on the tremendous opportunities available in the agricultural sector. Indeed, we must take advantage of this groundbreaking opportunity that Tiast has presented to us today. Distinguished guests, as we leave this conference, the take-home message is that the key to sustainable development, is agricultural industrialization. And the onus lies on not only the farmer, but on you and me to make the agricultural sector flourish. Please do not hesitate to contact our business development team for further enquiries and clarifications. All information required can be found in the brochures given to you. Our doors are open and we are ever ready to assist and do business with you. Make a visit to Tiast. Let us help you industrialize and take agriculture to the next level. As you leave, let us have a good interactive session, enjoy the lunch being offered, and let's make a toast together to the success of Ghana's agriculture. My name is Christodia Asamoah Apiedu, Business Development Executive with Tiast Group, and it's been an honor having you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Christodia. We want to acknowledge the media houses. We have BNFT, GCB Online, The Finder, and also Daily Guide. Photographers, Kwajo Films, videographers, Sankofa Pixels, and Rich Max. Our sound guys and our lights. We thank you all. And I would love us to follow Tiast Group on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter as well, to receive updates on agriculture industrialization. All the time there are messages placed there to update us. And also you can follow our website, www.tiastgroup.com, and also www.agroriches.com to get latest updates, what is happening on the agriculture sector as well. All right, so I think the ushers are going around for the inquiry forms that we were asked to fill. There's also a lunch ticket in the booklet, so please pick it up. Make sure you don't misplace it. We're going to go on a 20 to 30 minutes recess so that we can interact outside. There's going to be photo shoot and also interviews conducted. So if you're interested, we also have an interview with you to take up what you've grabbed so far as well. All right, so after that, then we come back in to have our lunch. I believe that's a great idea, and you can interact with any of the business development managers also when we march outside. Don't forget to exchange complimentary cards as well. All right, thank you.
We will take our closing prayer from the resident pastor of PIWC Kokomlemle and the chaplain of Tiast. Please let's invite Pastor Kingsley Adai to lead us. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, before we close, I will humbly read a passage of scripture. Matthew chapter 25, I'm reading from verse 14. For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling into a far country who called his own servants, like we have called for a conference like this, and delivered unto them goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his ability. And straightway he took to his journey. Then he heard the one who received 5 talents went, traded with it, and he made 5 more. Likewise, the one who received 2 talents went, traded with it, and gained 2 more. I pray that as you go to invest, you will have good returns. The next verse 18. But he that had 1 went and digged the earth. Digging the ground is also work, but work that resulted into 0 returns. And he hid the money on the ground. After a long while, the Lord of those servants came back and asked them to render account. So the one who had 5 came back and said, Master, I traded with it and I had 5 more. He said to him, You good and faithful servant, take charge of 5 more. The one who received 2 also came back and gave an account and said, Master, I traded with your talent and I have 2 more. Good and faithful servant was told him, be in charge of 2 more. The one who was given 1 came back with all kinds of excuses and stories and said, Master, I know that you are a very hard man, and you can harvest where you have not planted. And I know you are a very wicked man. So, because I don't want trouble, I hid your money on the ground. Here is your money. What it means is that God is even interested in returns and interest. That is why Tiast, when I was approached by Tiast 2 years ago, about a year and a half, I took the plunge. And I've been working with them, giving them spiritual support, so that even where you have all your own biases and perceptions, we are there to provide spiritual support for you, so that you have good investment and returns for your money. Hallelujah, somebody. So every Monday we at Tiast have morning devotions with our staff, and we imbibe in them, instill in them discipline and integrity. We know that with God all things are possible. So beloved, authors, we come to the end of this conference, and we want to assure you that all the technical support and all the other things that we know best to do, we are also committed to giving you a spiritual support in every dimension of your investment, so that together God will bless our effort in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Shall we humbly stand to our feet? Our prayer is that as you take decision to invest, God will never disappoint you. You have good returns for your money. Father, Lord, we give praise and glory to you for this day. And we thank you for the gift of life once again, and the fact that we have sat, listened very well, but probably we are in the middle of decision. We pray that you will help us to consolidate our decision and be so firm and resolute in our resolve to invest. We pray that you will grant us the grace and the revelation concerning Tiast and every investment that we want to put our money in. Guide us, O Lord, and cause us to experience returns that will blow our minds, and we will say of a truth, this one, it is the doing of the Lord. Bless our efforts, keep all of us safe and sound, shield us from all evil, grant us peace than ever before, and let us reason with Tiast and say, this is the time and the opportune time to invest in this industry. May the Lord, who knows the end from the beginning, bless our every effort of every one of us and keep all of us safe and sound. Until we meet again, let us have testimonies about our investment. In the name of God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Shall we shout a big amen? God bless you.
Amen. Thank you so much, Reverend. God bless you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've come